would like to welcome our guest speaker. Mr. Joshua Gerard is the founder and president of the Chitra Foundation NGO. Mr. Gerard is also a member of the Christian Foundation for the Blind Chennai and an associate member of the Madras Management Association and Engineers Without Borders. Mr. Gerard has also trained 50,000 candidates so far, and his repertoire of clients includes Tamil Nadu Police, ISRO, the Bombay Stock Exchange, where he conducted training for the CSR projects, and the numerous prestigious colleges across South India. He has received the Abdul Kalam Award for Young Entrepreneurship. We are extremely pleased to have you grace our program with your presence, sir.
Thank you very much for that warm introduction. So shall I proceed? Yeah. So somewhere inside of all of us is the power to change the world, and I strongly believe in that. So before I go into the session, I would like to divide it into a few parts. One is I have been asked to cover certain topics related to voting, related to how democracy works, related to how India's internal elections work. So I will be covering all that because it might be some of you might already know it, some are just facts. So I will be covering those topics as requested. So after that, I would like to have a very interactive session wherein you can ask me any question related to voting, related to government policies, related to political parties, their ideologies, their framework, how they work. Because I always believe a strong interaction is a better learning always. So instead of just me speaking, because I can go on for hours together, but I'm just going to be very concise. I'm just going to be very precise to what I'm supposed to cover. So as I speak, I would like to tell you, like, I am not going to tell anybody to which party to you should vote for or which party is better than other party. I'm just going to give you my opinions through the sessions, though. Okay, so that's about it. So voting, okay. So voting is one of our fundamental rights, and I strongly believe that it is very important. So basically, why is there voting? Why is there the need for voting? Okay, so we have to elect or we have to select the people who are capable of leading the nation. It may be people who are going to lead the state, people who are going to lead the constituency, people who are going to lead our own streets. Okay, so how do we choose who is going to tell what is best for us? Okay, so that is the need, okay, to select a particular person. So a formal indication of a choice between two or more people. Okay, there are certain times wherein you would have heard this particular candidate has been elected unopposed. அதாவது தமிழ்ல சொல்லுவாங்க unopposed சரிங்களா. Okay, so some people have been voted without any competition at all. Okay, so basically vote is a choice wherein an individual, okay, you or me, we make, okay, to choose a particular person as to who gets selected. Okay, in the Lok Sabha, certain times bills are passed by just showing hands, lifting hands, or maybe saying ayes or noes. Elections, like previously we used to have the ballot system, now we have the electronic voting system, wherein the electronic votes are converted into paper machines. Okay, so that's about how or why the voting takes place. Okay, why it is needed. So next slide, please. So we are going to see about the history of vote, how it started, or how in Tamil Nadu, how in South India it began. So the first kind of selecting the people in the lower levels, in the village levels, was goes far beyond in the 920th century. Okay, from the Chola Empire. Okay, so it was said that there is evidence which shows that voting took place then, and it was people used to put cast palm leaves, maybe in a kind of a tray or in a kind of a bucket, and whichever person got the most number of leaves was elected as the leader of the village. Okay, in the world it was started in Athens. Okay, so Athens was one of the first places where voting started. Okay, so in India, post our independence, so if you take a country like China, the rulers or the founders of China, what they decided was, okay, this is the party which is going to rule the country henceforth. Okay, But our founding fathers of the country, they believe, okay, they believe any person can start a party, any person can contest an election, any person can win an election, and they can or they have the opportunity to rule or be the elected member. Okay, so that is why they brought in the system of the election making itself. So there's no one party system, there's no one particular person or one particular party that would rule the entire country. Okay, so in 1950-51, an election commission was formed and they brought in the ballot system. Okay, so Sukhma Sen was the first election commissioner of India. Okay, after which in the constitution they brought in a lot of changes. So the first cabinet of India, okay, was as you all know, Jawaharlal Nehru was the first prime minister, and he led people 15-member committee. So this committee was selected based on, because India is a diverse country. Okay, so they wanted people from all across India to be a part of it. People from different ethnicity, different backgrounds to be a part of it. Okay, so this was how the first members were elected or selected in India, and it was headed by Jawaharlal Nehru. Next slide, please. So let us come deeper into how voting or how India's structure is there. Okay, how the government of India is structured. So one is we elect the prime minister. Okay, so the prime minister is elected based on the number of member of parliaments are there in the Lok Sabha. Okay, so as a citizen, we will generally be facing will be taking part in many elections, and one such thing is voting for the Lok Sabha. Okay, which directly elects the prime minister of the country. Okay, so this is called as the upper house. Okay, so next we have the Rajya Sabha. Okay, this is the upper house. Sorry, Lok Sabha is the lower house and the Rajya Sabha is the upper house. So in each state, we have a legislative assembly. You would have heard the term MLA. That means member of the legislative assembly. MP means member of the parliament. So in the state, we have the legislative assembly. Okay. So we go on to elect the chief minister of the state. The coming elections, which we are going to face very shortly, okay, or the thing which we are going to start, is for electing our MLAs, and it is a thing for electing the chief minister of Tamil Nadu. Okay, so there are many prerequisites as per the election law in India. So a huge election law has been done. So election symbols, okay, play a very important role. Many parties have symbols which are used throughout India or which are used throughout the state. Okay, because most people go and vote based on the symbols. They vote on the familiarity of the symbols. So if you take the hand symbol, I think since because Congress was the first party that was founded, everybody knows the hand symbol that which party it belongs to. In Tamil Nadu, the ADMK, the DMK symbols, the rising sun and the two-leaf symbol are very famous. Okay, so these are the purpose why parties give importance to the election symbols. Okay, so there's an election code of conduct. Okay, so that there are a lot of rules which has to be followed during the time of election. Okay, maybe giving of freebies, giving of government fund or distribution during the election mode of conduct is prohibited. Okay, so to conduct free and fair elections for different posts in the country, there are three major requisites. Okay, so that's why the Election Commission of India is there. It is an authority that ensures that the elections are conducted free of political interference. Okay, so no political party, let them be in power, maybe in the state or center, can impact a current election which is taking place. Okay, so any doubts, any clarifications, anything. Okay, the Election Commission of India is the highest most body. Okay, it is above the Prime Minister or the Chief Minister or anything. They report directly to the President of India, and any issues, they are the supreme most power. Okay, next slide, please. So just to have just to know about certain rules and regulations or certain acts which were brought in place. Okay, the President and Vice President Election Act of 1952. So it brought about how the President or the Vice President is elected. So just to give you on a normal idea or for a rough idea as to how the President or Vice President is elected. Okay, all the Lok Sabha members, all the Rajya Sabha members, all the MLAs of all the states, everybody will be casting their vote. Okay, everybody will be casting the vote. That means that indirectly you and I elect the president. Okay, you and I elect the vice president. So a Rajya Sabha member has more number of points. Next comes in the Lok Sabha member. He has a little lesser number of points each member, and then comes the MLAs of the state. So all these points added together bring about how a president or a vice president is elected. Okay, so these are not directly elected by us, but indirectly. Okay, similarly, the Rajya Sabha member, okay, the Rajya Sabha member, a member of the upper house, is elected directly by the MLAs. Okay, is elected directly by the MLAs. So whom we choose as MLAs, they will choose a Rajya Sabha MP. Okay, so we will directly choose the MLAs. We will directly choose the member of parliaments for the Lok Sabha. We will directly choose our local councillor. So Rajiv Gandhi brought about the scheme of Panchayat Raj, wherein any decision which has to be taken in your hometown, in your locality, should be directly governed or directly undertaken by a person belonging to that particular street, to that particular ward. Okay, so that is where the Panchayat Raj or corporations or ward councillor, as we term it as, came into place. Okay, so there are a lot of rules and regulations. The election, so who can vote? The government of India says who can vote. So they have to be a citizen of India. They have to have the voter ID card. Okay, it should be a photo voter ID card. Okay, only those people can come and vote. So citizens are given. See, we also have to be very proud of our country in the basis of voting. Many countries, including the US, had a lot of discriminatory rules. In certain countries, up till recently, it's like it has been like only men were allowed to vote. In some countries, women were not allowed to vote. Men were only the deciding factors. In certain countries, it was like only the white people could vote and the black people were not allowed to vote. Maybe now they have changed, but initially that was the way it was. But India is the only country among the world which said that any person, male, female, belonging to any community, irrespective of caste, community, creed, religion, every citizen has a single vote. And this credit should go to Dr. Ambedkar sir, my Mahatma Gandhi, and Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. So the founding fathers of the country were very clear. Everyone has a right to decide who should rule them. Okay. So these were the rules which were brought into, and the code of conduct for election rules. Okay, let it be money distribution, let it be rules which everybody should adhere to. So to conduct the rules in 1961, it was established. The People's Representation Act of 1951 was established. So these rules and regulations were established. Okay, next slide, please. So election symbols. So election symbols are some of the most important things which each party believes in. Okay, every party goes into election that okay, our symbol has the most reachability to the people, because when you go in, not only in Tamil Nadu, not only in our ward levels, most of us, to be very open about it, we vote based on the party. Okay, many of us might not know who our candidates are. Okay, we vote based on the party leaders, or maybe the party's election manifesto. Okay, so the symbols. Okay, the symbols, like as I told you, the rising sun of the DMK, the two leaves of the ADMK, the hand symbol of the Congress, they have extreme reach among the people. So smaller parties, they also try to bring in their symbols. So sometimes what they do is when they're contesting an election in alliance with major partners, maybe to reach more people, they contest on their alliance partner symbols too. Okay. So meanwhile, as I'm proceeding, to all the participants, see, feel free to note down all your questions. See, as I told you, you can ask me any question open. You can ask me about anything related to voting, politics, parties, leadership skills, anything you can ask me. Okay, feel free. So you can make a note of those questions and you can ask me at the end. Okay. So They also see, but there are sometimes there are rules which bind every political party. Sometimes there will be a division in the political party. People will come out, start a splinter division. So who has the symbol? Everything it again boils down. There are rules which are laid by the Election Commission of India. Okay, the Election Commission of India. This the order governs matters reservation to election symbols. Okay, for political parties, both at the national and the state level. Okay, it oversees the allotment of symbols to various candidates. So many people stand as individuals. Okay, for them as well, the rule applies. This is in order to avoid any disputes between candidates. Okay, next slide, please. So again, under our constitution, the election commission, okay, the ECI, okay, they bring into model code of conduct. So anytime wherein the election is announced, from that date, there are a lot of rules which is stipulated by the ECI which has to be followed. Okay. So there are many rules and acts which I don't want to go too deep into it. Okay. But the ECI, the Election Commission of India, as I told you, it is a supreme body. Okay. They take control of the EVM machines. They take control as to who takes care of the administrative issues, releasing the results, releasing the number of participants. Everything is done by the ECI. So this is for you to have an awareness as to who conducts our election, as to or who takes authority of it. Okay. Next slide, please. So coming to young voters. So young voters in India. Okay. In fact, in today's scenario, I was just reading an article which said that 70%, okay, 70% of India's populations are still very young, okay, below 40. Okay, so India is a very young nation, and I very strongly believe that we should decide as to who should govern us, or who should have the power to rule the state or the country or even our own words. Okay, so young voters should come out, should cast their vote. Okay, being stepping aside doesn't make it pulls our nation backward. Okay, so young voters. Okay, so all of you, young people, all of us, I think we should go out and vote. Okay, young voters account for more than half the voting population. Okay, making them a very powerful force. So we are all a huge powerful force. Okay, and please believe every vote counts. Many countries, many states, many elections, okay, people have lost and won by a single vote. So do not think that, okay, how is my one vote going to matter? Many of us feel like, hey, what is the difference of me going and vote? What change it brings? Okay, each of us, okay, your vote, my vote, everything means a lot. Okay, last election, I'm telling you, many people had won by one vote, 5 votes, 10 votes. Okay, every vote matters a lot. The wrong people have won because we have not gone on vote. Okay, so let us ensure that, let us understand that our votes matter. Okay, young people were hit hard and hardest, okay, by the great recession. Okay, young voters are incredibly a diverse group. Okay, we have different ideas, different followings. Okay, so we need to connect to the politics. It's not like okay, the main problem is we have no idea as to what is happening in politics. We do not pay much attention to it. We do not know what are the, when I ask the youngsters, many of them do not know what are the parties that are there, who are contesting, because they feel I'm not connected to it. It doesn't matter to it. See, in Singapore, if you take, it's a very small country. It's a very small country, and they were started much later, much behind us, and they are much forward than us, because every citizen of the country were involved in the decision making, were involved in the policies. Okay, so I strongly believe that everyone, okay, each one of us should be strongly connected and active, politically active. Okay, so young people need to connect with the politics early on. It is easier, okay, to be an educated voter. See, an uneducated voter, he can go and vote for someone, maybe a wrong candidate, just because he's bribed, just because he is given money. So put a question in front of you. Even if somebody is paying you 1,000 rupees, would you be interested in voting towards them? Because for you, you would be very clear as to who should come and who should not come. Okay. So educated young voters are the need of the country. Okay, your vote, okay, can sway the election. Okay, so you might think like it doesn't matter to you today, but see, there's a proverb in English which says that today's youngsters has tomorrow's future. If tomorrow's future has to be bright, when you're young, you have to act. 10 years from now, 20 years from now, all of us are going to be old. Okay, we are no longer going to be youngsters all our life, right? So we might be young at heart, but we are not going to be in the youngsters category. So if our future has to be bright, okay, all of you should go and vote. Okay, so in 5 years, maybe we should not be thinking, okay, I made a mistake by not voting, or I made a mistake by voting for the wrong person. Okay, next slide, please. So every citizen can vote. Okay, candidates who win the Lok Sabha, as I told you, are called member of parliaments. Okay, we vote for the prime minister directly. Okay, that is, we vote for the MP. All the member of parliaments, based on the number of MPs, they join together and elect the prime minister. Okay, so it's for a 5 years period. So during the vote, generally we have a indelible ink so that nobody can remove or nobody can vote the second time. So electronic voting has been tried ever since in 1997. Okay, we also have a nota. Okay, none of the above. So in case you think that I'm not interested with any of the candidates, you can also press nota. Okay. There is postal voting. Let us say you're across the globe, you're somewhere else, or you're in some other state, or you're in a government service. You can use the postal balloting system as well. Okay. Next slide, please. So none of the above. Okay, nota. It's like you. Let us say you do not like any of the candidates, or you disapprove the candidates. You think nobody is fit for. Okay, Rule 49O is there since 1961. Okay, it is described as a procedure to be followed when a valid voter decides not to cast his vote and decides. Okay, and decides to record it. I don't want to cast a vote for anybody. Okay, all of them are incapable, I feel. So you can do that as well. Okay, so but go there, go to the voting machine and vote. So what you have in your mind. Okay, next slide, please. So choosing your party. So if you have specific questions, I will take it up. But generally, on a normal note, on a lighter note, okay. So generally, so when you choose a party, some people choose on based on the party leaders. Some people choose the party based on issues. Okay. Um, so choosing a political party, choosing whom you want to vote is very important. So if you take Kerala, I've seen their voting patterns. I've studied their voting patterns very closely. It's like for the Lok Sabha, for electing the prime minister, they elect in a different manner. They elect in a different block. For electing the local assembly or the local wards, they vote in a different pattern. Okay, so understanding how your system works is a very important thing. Okay, so the type of voting that describes voters, okay, based on a political parties like a political party or political leaders. Okay, it's a kind of a party voting. Sometimes it's based on issues. Who brings in what issues, or who brought in the issue first, or I am very aligned to this particular issue, and this political party has given importance to this particular issue. Okay, that's issue based voting. Okay, that's some of the ways how you can choose your party. Next slide, please. So, very important thing is, so I want to tell you all the young voters, COVID is still there. Okay, COVID is still there. Just because your colleges are open, just because the malls are open, just because the beaches are open. Okay, just because all of us are moving around, it doesn't mean that COVID is not there. Okay, COVID is very much there. It can affect any one of us. Let us also, as much as it is important for us to go and vote, it is very important that we follow the COVID protocol. Okay, so in case if you want to fill any forms or anything, make sure that you take the documents before itself. Okay, practice social distancing. Do not stand close to each other. Please wear a face mask. Okay, in case you're touching the button or something like that, after that have a sanitizer, have a small sanitizer with you. Okay, in case if you're signing something somewhere, or have your own pen, make sure you follow the COVID protocols. Okay, make sure you follow the COVID protocols. A sincere request to all the people, as much as it is important for you to go out and vote, it is important to safeguard yourself and your families too. So next slide, please. So these are some of the photographs of sessions in India and in abroad, wherein social distancing was followed. Okay, so please follow social distancing. Okay, when you are going to vote. So please make sure first I would like to congratulate the effort of WCC College, the Department of Viscom, the students of Viscom, the management, and the professors, faculties of Viscom. This initiative is the need of the hour. Okay, voting awareness is the need of the hour, and organizing this program, taking time out to organizing such a big program is a very important thing. I would like to congratulate all of you. I can go on and speak about voting or politics, but I would like to answer your questions. What would you like to know? I have been a part of the election manifesto committee for many parties. I've been in the policy making. I've been members of various boards, various departments. So any question you would like to ask me, I would be more than happy to interact with you and answer your questions. Feel free to ask me anything. Okay, how to find out whether a candidate is eligible to be a leader? Okay, so first, when you, as I told you, it is very important that you understand what that particular person stands for. Let us say a party. What is the ideology of a party? Okay, when you look into a party, please look into the ideology of the party, where or what they stand for. Number one. Okay, who are the leaders and what are the leaders' main issues? Okay, do they focus on issues which are pertaining to you, which are pertaining to the society? Okay, so here, as an individual, okay, it is very difficult to take decisions. So the party leaders, the party ideologies play a very important role in India and in Tamil Nadu. Okay, so look into these issues before you select a particular candidate. Also look into I would strongly say, look into the educational background of the candidate, whether he or she is educated. Try to understand the profile of the candidate. Okay, what administrative skills they have, what social connect they have. Okay, so these will give you a rough idea about a particular political party. Okay, because political parties ideologies are very different, they are very varied. Okay, so by this you can definitely understand, is that particular candidate a leader? Is that particular person capable of taking decisions? Will he or she address your issues? I hope I have answered your question. What mechanism can keep, okay, what mechanisms can keep a check on the candidate who doesn't fulfill the election manifesto? To be very honest, there is, unfortunately, there's no mechanism for people who don't keep up the election manifesto. There are a lot of rules which says, okay, if a person comes with certain criminal backgrounds which he or she has not mentioned, or certain things, let us say, many people have been put into jail. You would have recently heard that, you would have seen in Tamil Nadu, Sasikala ma'am, who was the leader of a political party, even though she was very powerful, the rule of the law was supreme. Okay, so any person with criminal background, even if she was about to become the chief minister, even if she was the chief minister, I think even Jayalalitha madam, even when she was the chief minister, she was convicted. Okay, she was convicted, and the rule of the law prevailed. Okay, so if somebody doesn't follow the election manifesto, the best thing that you or I could do is, next time do not vote for that particular person or for that particular political party. Okay, vote for somebody who keeps up the promise. Okay, so we cannot directly ensure that if they do not follow the manifesto, we cannot take any action against them. Okay, so why are there no eligibility criteria in education politics? It's a very valid question, which I strongly believe. Okay, I even when I was discussing many forums, I used to say, நீங்க கவர்மெண்ட் ஜாப்ஸுக்கு எடுத்துக்கிறீங்க டிஎன்பிசி யூபிஎஸ்சி ஈவன் ஃபார் அ கிளர்க் யூ சே 10th பாஸ் 8th பாஸ் ஆஃப் ஃபெயில் யூஜி டிகிரி எவ்ரிதிங் யூ ஆஸ்க் okay to go for any company you ask what degree they have completed, what is the marks they have scored and all that. And the people, the elected legislators are going to govern all of us, okay. And there's no educational qualification for them. So I think in the future it should be made mandatory. It should be made mandatory, but as of now educational qualification is not made mandatory. But I very strongly believe that educated people should rule our country, should rule our states, should rule our constituencies and our ward level. um, so it's like I have traveled, just to add a point to that, I have traveled across the globe and I have visited many universities, many colleges. So when I ask the topper of any university, let us say I'm in a university in US, when I ask the topper, what would you like to become? They would say, I would like to become the president of United States of America. I would like to become the mayor of California. I would like to become the prime minister of UK or the mayor of Great Britain. Okay. But when I ask the topper of any college or any university or any class in India, they would say, I want to go to the US, I want to go to the UK. So the fundamental problem lies within us. Okay. The fundamental problem lies within us. We think that நான் நல்லா படிச்சா போதும், நான் நல்லா மார்க் எடுத்தா போதும், I getting good marks or I getting a job is more than sufficient. So let us come to an understanding that we lack patriotism. We are not concerned about the society. We just sit at home, complain there is corruption, there is red tapeism, this person is wrong, that person. What have we done? Okay, what have we done? Okay, so educated people, especially in India, if you ask them, I want to go to the US, I want to go to the UK, nobody comes and says, have you ever seen the university topper come and say that, okay, I want to become the CM of Tamil Nadu? So when that is not there, okay, criticizing and just mere criticism is not going to be of any use at all. Okay, so I'll move on to the next question. So why is there no eligibility criteria for education politics? I've answered that. So election campaign trend has become more about competing with announcing freebies. Does it really benefit people? Again, I would say that freebies shouldn't be given much because again it goes from the taxpayers' money. Okay, it goes from the taxpayers' money. We are paying for it end of the day. But there's a huge difference, or there's a huge gap between the people who are well-to-do and the people who are in poverty. Okay, so for the people who are in poverty, for the people who are downtrodden, for the people who are finding it difficult to make their ends meet on a day-to-day basis, these freebies play a very, very important role. And I would also like to bring it on record that some of the freebies are good. Some of the freebies are good. If you take, as I was telling you about Singapore or other countries, Singapore or UK or any country for the matter of any developed country, they give freebies too. In some countries, they give freebies in such a way that you are a youngster, you're not having a job, the government pays you a minimum guarantee amount every month till you find a job. Okay, the government gives old person of certain ages, they give them something like a pension till they live. They would have been working in a private company, but the government gives a minimum amount to people of certain age, okay, to a people of certain age, so that they are able to live a decent life. So giving freebies happens even in developed countries. So having it in a developing country like India is not wrong at all. But what you are giving as a freebie is very important. I think in India, giving freebies, that is when you announce to do something, keep it up. Because it was very bad taste that I think last government, without naming the thing, they said that every voter will get 15 lakhs in their account. Okay. So it is a promise nobody can keep up. So giving, see, people are in poverty, people are backward in their knowledge. So telling a lie, okay, it's not that only that particular government couldn't do it. No, it is not possible to put 15 lakhs in a particular amount. Okay, so telling lies to win an election, I think it is completely wrong. I strongly believe about it. If you're promising a freebie, like I think recently in the election manifesto of the DMK, I think the chief ministerial candidate, the MK Stalin, had come out and said that we will give 1,000 rupees to every woman in the family who has a voter ID and a ration card. So I think giving freebies, and if you're maintaining it, it is good. So giving freebies and not maintaining it, or not keeping up the promise, or giving a promise based on a false promise, I think it is completely wrong. I hope I've answered your question. So it's about freebies. Next, what are the problems do you think is making our country lack in development? Okay, yeah. See, as I told you, when a person is educated, okay, you will understand, okay, you will come to a framework, okay, these are the problems of the particular constituency, these are the problems of the particular state or the particular nation. You will bring in educated people. Let us say, like, I'm the decision maker. What would I do? I would bring in a team of youngsters, college students, youngsters. I will ask them, what are the problems you're facing? Okay. I will ask people who are employees or trade unions, I will ask them, what are the problems they're facing? I would try to identify all the problems. Then I would bring all the problems. I would try to bring in intellectual people from all sectors, and say, these are the problems. Can someone help me identify the best solutions? We'll have a brainstorming session. We will try to resolve all the problems, and I would give a step-to-step approach. Okay. So identifying the problems, finding a solution. That is why a person is elected. This is what an educated person would do. Okay. This is what any of you who are in this program or watching this program, if you are an educated person, you will know how to run the system. You will know, see, when you're capable of starting your own company, when you're young entrepreneurs, when you're capable of going to a job and delegating the duty, this is what will be your duty if you're elected. You can definitely do it. But the problem is, who are the people who are decision makers? If you look into it, they are people mostly, due respect to everybody, they are people mostly of no education, people with no capacity of managing or organizing things, clearly lack of people connect. Okay. And some people come join politics because they have a lot of criminal activities or criminal backgrounds or illegal businesses. They come to politics to protect themselves. In a developed country like the US or UK or any developed or European Union, a person with illegal business or criminal activities cannot enter politics, because the political system is run by educated people. So because educated people step aside when it comes to politics, now uneducated people or people with criminal backgrounds are running it. So only when we raise our voice, only when we join together and raise our voice, we actively participate, can we handle these kind of situations. So I strongly believe that if we all join together, okay, we can definitely make a change. So problems can be handled. So the question was, what problems do you think is making a country lack in development? I think educated people are not there. Okay, when educated people are there, they will try to identify the problems, find a solution to the problem, and make sure the country is very prospective. Okay, so next, the next question which I have is, although tax favor benefits certain groups, end of the day, how does it impact taxpayers? So initially, if you ask me, taxpayers, especially the middle class people, are being taxed the most right now by the central government. Small and medium scale enterprises are being taxed the more. Okay, and multinational companies. If you take Nirav Modi, you would have heard about Nirav Modi. You would have heard about Vijay Mallya. These top corporate companies, they take up huge loans, they swindle all the money, and the government waives off their loan or closes the loan. How is it being closed? It is being closed by taxpayers' money. Okay. So here what happens? See, if you're giving it for a development purpose, give me the best growth. I'm paying money. Give me the best growth which are possible. Give me maybe uninterrupted electricity, uninterrupted power supply. Give the people the best education. Give the people the best food that is available. Okay. Help the elder senior citizens of the country when there's a need. Okay, that is all fine, perfectly fine. But the problem is, okay, the problem is taxpayer money are being swindled by multinational companies, okay, which are aligned with the ruling party. If you have seen recently, Anil Ambani, his company has been completely bankrupt. Completely bankrupt. He's nowhere in the picture. Okay, he's completely bankrupt. He has to pay crores, lakhs of crores of money to Chinese banks and all that. Okay, but still the government is trying to give the Rafale fighter flights order to him. Okay, so I don't want to get into politics, but on a general note, this is what which is happening. Whereas the government is not trying to create or trying to give importance to its own institutions. If you take HAL, okay, HAL is a government subsidiary organization which is capable of developing fighter flights, but the order is not given to HAL, it is given to Anil Ambani. Wrong policies. BSNL is not allocated enough of spectrum it needs. It is not allocated enough of funds it needs, but Geo is being given all the spectrum it requires, all the funds it requires at a subsidized rate. Wrong policies. Okay. So without going too much into policies, this is the problem which we are facing. These are the problems which we are facing. So I'll move on to the next question. So how do you think movies can create an impact about voting? So I think any awareness, okay, any awareness. See, we have to reach or come closer to 100% voting. Right now in Tamil Nadu, okay, in Tamil Nadu, the average voting percentage is somewhere between 60 to 64. We average 61, 62, 63. So it's 60. We have not crossed 80% ever. Okay. So I strongly believe, see, when I tell youngsters, I tell vote for any party, support any party, support an individual candidate, do anything you want, but understand, know what is happening in your society. யார் உங்க எம்எல்ஏ கேண்டிடேட், யார் உங்க வார்டு கவுன்சிலர், யார் நிக்கிறாங்க, அவங்க வந்தாங்கன்னா என்ன பண்ணுவாங்க, what they will do. Okay, try to understand that maybe right now, right away, this particular election, maybe you might not be able to impact, but definitely in the future you will be able to. Okay, so movies, if you ask me, because you are from the Viscom department, I urge you, I request you, you can reach out to more people than I can ever my entire career. Okay, I strongly believe, because especially short movies, short films, movies which are 2 minutes, 3 minutes videos, these kind of videos create a huge impact. Okay, so I think you especially people in the Viscom department can impact the voting patterns to a great extent, especially since you are from WCC, you are from the Viscom department. I believe there's a huge responsibility in all your hands. So next question I have with me is, so please enlighten us on how to motivate the visionary educated youth with integrity to come into politics, the driving seat of Indian politics. Okay, yeah. So as I told you, what I tell people is, politics is like a glass of water. Let us say there is dirt in the water. You cannot drink the water with the dirt, or you cannot be without drinking. You have to clean the dirt, and then only you can drink the water. Okay. So Tamil, translated in Tamil, okay, அரசியல்ன்றது நம்ம குடிக்கிற தண்ணி மாதிரி. தண்ணியில அழுக்கு இருக்குதுன்ற காரணத்தினால நம்ம அந்த தண்ணியை குடிக்காம இருக்க முடியாது. அதே சமயத்துல அந்த அழுக்கூட நம்ம அந்த தண்ணியை குடிக்க முடியாது. Okay, we have to clean it. So we have to ensure that each one of us, what I would say is, first, try to identify what are the parties which are there, learn about them, what are the ideologies they stand for, see if they are good enough. Okay. Then think about who their leaders are, what their capabilities are. Okay. Ideologies and capabilities are very important. How educated they are, what they stand for. Okay. So don't believe just because on elections and somebody comes and tells you like 15 lakhs will be deposited in your account, or for the, if you vote for me, I will pay you money. Okay. There was this meme which I saw. அதாவது எனக்கு ஓட்டு அப்ப நீங்க 2000 ரூபாய் யார் கொடுப்பாலும் அவங்க தான் ஓட்டு போடுவீங்க அப்படின்னா உங்களுக்கு அன்னை தெரேசாவா வருவாங்க? ஓகே, உங்களுக்கு கரப்டான பர்சன் தான் வருவாங்க. ஓகே, so who will, if you vote on who will give you money, okay, who will bribe you, who will give you, why is somebody giving you money to cast a vote for you? And if let us say that, let us assume that I am giving you money, I would look at how can I take 10 times the amount, won't I? So don't go. So youngsters, first, I think India is far behind because of the caste system. Please try to eradicate the caste system. All of us are equal. All of us are Indians, firstly and lastly. Understand that. So we should try to bring in equality, avoid caste system. We should speak based on development. We should speak based on what are the people. Let us say I am coming to power or I am standing the election. I should be capable of saying, what am I going to do if I am elected? Okay. So based on that, youth, young people should come into politics, and they should see how they could work for the betterment. Okay. So you said don't vote for the party who don't keep your promise. BJP, who slammed Congress for the raise of gas cylinder, now they are raised both gas and petrol. What is my view on that? See, your point is very valid. I strongly agree with you. So previously, especially when the previous government, when Manmohan Singh sir was the prime minister, a barrel, okay, per barrel of crude oil, it was somewhere around $160. Okay, roughly. I'm just giving you a rough. It was like 150 to 170. I'm giving you a rough thing. It was $160. Okay, that time the petrol or diesel price was much lesser than what it is today. Today, petrol per barrel is somewhere around $30 to $45 only. So prices should have gone down. So unfortunately, okay, the government is making or swindling the middle classes money. Okay, LPG price, everything has gone up. Everything has gone up, which I strongly oppose. I have spoken in many forums against it. The middle class, see, when the petroleum price goes down, let us say the petroleum price goes down by 20 rupees or 30 rupees right now. See, our petroleum price is much higher than Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka. We are paying more money per liter. If the petroleum price comes down, price of commodities or essential goods will come down drastically. More trade and more businesses will happen. But now the government is trying to swindle money from the middle class. They are taking bribes from the petroleum companies every day for keeping that particular price. Okay. So I strongly believe what is happening right now is very wrong, and all of us as individuals have to oppose it. So the next question which I have is, in BJP ruling state in Uttar Pradesh has no safety for women. Many rape cases are happening in UP. If BJP takes over Tamil Nadu, will it be the same? It's a nice question, but I strongly believe BJP has no presence in Tamil Nadu. They are trying to enter the back door through ADMK, because ADMK doesn't have a leadership right now. Without going too deep, I would say that see, BJP or RSS, they have an ideology which says that it is one nation, one religion. It is one party's decision making, which the founding fathers were very strongly against. See, what we have to understand is, when a country is formed, it is formed on basic rules. It is formed on basic understanding among the thing. Okay, India is a vast country, and we had more than 560 princely states before it was called as a country. Okay, so that time Mahatma Gandhi ji, Jawaharlal Nehru, Pandit Jawaharlal, I think, see Vallabhbhai Patel, Mahatma, all of us, Dr. Ambedkar, all of us came together and said that everybody can follow whatever religion they feel like following. They can be atheist, okay? They can be from any background, but everybody is equal. Everybody can follow their own culture and traditions, okay? They can follow their own language, everything. But now the central government is trying to push in a particular language. They're trying to rename places, okay? Rename places based on their convenience. They have hijacked the entire system, if you ask me, which is very bad for the system. And they go on the basis of caste and religion. Okay. So in Uttar Pradesh, there was this person, without naming him, I'm telling, if we come to power, you are given all authority to dominate, to hit, or do whatever you want against a particular caste or community. This is what the RSS or the BJP very strongly believes in. So the people, they are uneducated, and because of uneducation, they vote for the BJP, and because they are in power, I think a lot of cases against women or inequality, gender, see, especially women from lower caste are being humiliated and tortured every day, and it doesn't come out in the news too. So in Tamil Nadu, we are all educated people, and I doubt that BJP will come to power, and I doubt that these kind of things can happen, because here all religions, all communities are together. Okay. The next question I have is, our PM promised he will stand against black money and deposit it in an account. We haven't received it. Yeah, as I was telling you, see, the question of demonetization. Many of you would have heard about demonetization and GST. So in the demonetization, the Prime Minister came about and said few topics. First, black money will be eliminated. Everybody still has black money. Okay, everybody still has black money. Some colleges are collecting donations. Political parties are spending huge amount of money. Black money has not been abolished. Okay, so money is generally a flow. Okay, so demonetization, GST, all these were wrong schemes which are implemented. Okay, all these were wrong schemes which are implemented. So false promises that black money will be abolished, or in fact, as records, as statistics, if you look deep into statistics, okay, we will understand that more number of companies have been filing for bankruptcy, and they have swindled the money and gone up in the past 6 to 7 years. Okay, so I think this government has been more for people on the other side of the rule. So it has not been there. So people, what you should do is, what you or I could do is vote against them. Okay, see, we cannot go and fight. We don't have to fight against them. We can follow Mahatma Gandhi's principle or Nehru's principle of voting against them. Okay. Corporates are ruling. Next question I have is, corporates are ruling a country rather than these political parties. Is it true? And my views on that. See, unfortunately, political parties have come or gone into the hands of corporates. If you look at the farm bills which are recently brought into place, all the farmers across the country are saying, see, when a bill is being passed for a particular community, for particular farmers should be consulted. All the farmers across India are opposing it, but the government, without having a discussion, is passing the bill. So why is it being done? Because certain corporates behind the government have made it mandatory or given money and said that pass these bills. This will enable us to become much more richer or gain much more profits. And the bill has been tabled in such a way that it helps only multinational companies, or few multinational companies which are backing the particular government. Okay. So what people should do is, irrespective of bribe, irrespective of whatever happens, we should go and vote whom we think are corrupt. So do not vote. So when you're voting, my suggestion is, vote for the, if you want really want to change, vote for the next alternative. Don't go and vote for, okay, let us have this person as an opportunity, especially at times of need where a change is required. Okay, so vote for the next possible alternative. Okay, so corporates are ruling the country. I have answered that. So unfortunately, this is the situation. We have to vote against them. Do you really think that being a normal citizen and raising voice against these wrong deeds of political parties will have an impact, or will even be considered? Previously, it was it is a very good question. Very good question. So previously, it was very difficult, but now, with the impact of social media, okay, with the impact of Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, and all these social media forums, I strongly believe a change can be made. See, previously, if I have to connect with people, if I have to go and speak with people, tell them what is right, what is wrong, I have to have huge amount of resources. I have to take up a space, I have to organize a stage, I have to organize the audio system, I have to make people come. Everything was there. Now, you have a view, go out, you can tell it on WhatsApp, you can tell it on Facebook, you can circulate it, you can reach a lot of people. And if what you say people believe in, okay, you will be the next leader. So social media is there. Voice your concern, strongly voice your concern. Do not be worried about anything. Voice your concern. See, when more voices are heard, the more louder it is, the more faster the change will take place. Okay, so don't think that your voice is unheard or your voice cannot make an impact. I strongly believe each one of you here in this program, your voice, your individual voice is important. Okay, next we saw Gujarat and Delhi riot from BJP supporters. Yeah, I think so. Will Tamil Nadu face the same? See, as I told you, Tamil Nadu is a very educated, is one of the most, after Kerala, it is one of the most literate state. And here, religion or caste are secondary. See, I celebrate, if I celebrate Christmas, I equally celebrate Ramzan, I equally celebrate Diwali. Okay, here, all of us being in Tamil Nadu, we celebrate all the festivals. Okay, நம்ம இப்ப ரம்ஜான்னா எல்லாருமே பிரியாணி சாப்பிடுவோம். We all look for that Muslim friend who will bring us biryani. Okay, if it is Diwali, we all burst crackers. If it is Christmas, we all look for cakes or wine. Okay, so here in Tamil Nadu, I doubt divisive politics can take into place. And some of the tall leaders like Gerard in Tamil Nadu, who has brought about women empowerment, who has been speaking about women empowerment, social change. If you go to other states in India, most of the people will have their caste name beside them. But people in Tamil Nadu will not have the caste name beside them. So Tamil Nadu has always been a front runner in social justice and women empowerment. So I have a huge doubt that what you say could happen in Tamil Nadu. I don't think it is possible. So I hope I have answered your question. So why vote to the looters of public money and still multiply our problems? See, as I told you, not everybody is corrupt. Not every person who joins politics is bad. Not every person who stands in the election are bad, or they come for looting. So not every party is bad. Okay, sometimes to defeat evil, okay, we have to understand which is the greater evil, which is the lesser evil. Sometimes we have to vote for the lesser evil too. So it happens, but we have to ensure that when we have to, first is we have to vote. We have to vote in order to bring a change. We have to understand how a change can be brought. Some people do not understand how a change can be brought. If correct, I'm just assuming you think that the current government is not doing enough or is bad. Okay, you have to see how can I bring a change. Vote accordingly to that particular party. Okay, so that's how you want to bring a change. In the future elections to come, then you decide, okay, should I give an opportunity to someone else, or is there the possibility of this particular person winning, or maybe a coordinated effort can be taken. But when you think there's a change needed, make sure that your vote matters. So is a majority of the political leaders proven criminals across the government? How to seek a remedy? See, first, what I would say is each one of you, there are many opportunities which are ahead of you. One is you can join existing political parties. Okay. Now the question is, how will I fit in, or what role would I play? Okay. Because of the impact of social media, because we are young, definitely political parties would like to take you in. So let us say in your particular ward, okay, in your particular ward, you are there, okay. You don't have to contest elections. Let us say there's somebody else from your party who's contesting elections, and you are a group of people, educated people who are standing. You are with him, okay. If he or she is making a mistake, you and your group can go and tell them you are making a mistake, okay. You are accountable for this. We do not acknowledge or approve your wish, and you can change him, okay. So change can take place from your own streets. Change can take place from your own houses, okay. You don't have to go, see, overnight to change the entire country is not possible, but change is possible, okay. Change is possible, okay. And you can do it from your own streets. You can do it in this upcoming election by going and voting. If you think the government has done well, vote for the government or vote for the alliance which is the government. If you think they're not done well, if you think that the pandemic was not handled properly, if you think money has been swindled, if you think racism takes place, identify who they are and vote against them. If somebody is speaking on the basis of caste, on the basis of religion, vote against them. Whoever is doing it. Okay. I'm not here to come and tell you like vote for this party or vote for that party. But understand before you vote. Just because, okay, I don't think that now vote போட போறதே ஒரு பெரிய விஷயம் அப்படின்றது. Understand this and then go and vote. Somebody, okay, he's a newcomer. I want to give him an opportunity. You're wasting your vote. Okay. Vote for people who can bring about a change, because this particular election, I strongly believe a change is required. So what do you think are good qualities of a political leader? So first thing, a political leader should be a good listener, okay. So only when I start listening will I understand what are the problems which are there, okay. So what is the need of a leader? What should a leader do? He is basically there, or he is basically, he takes, what decisions are he supposed to take? He's supposed to take decisions to solve the people's problem. So if a leader doesn't know what the people problems are, if a leader doesn't understand the ground reality, if he has no connect with what is happening, okay, how can he solve the problems? So first thing, a good political leader should be a good listener. He should interact with all the different sectors. Let it be the corporate sector, let it be small and medium scale enterprises. Recently, I was very impressed with Sri Rahul Gandhi, who came down to India and who came down to Tamil Nadu. He interacted with the fishermen, he interacted with small and medium scale enterprises, he interacted with weavers, he interacted with college professors, teachers, many people he interacted with, many groups, many divisions. So I believe, and he gave time, he listened to their problems, he listened to their problem, he tried to give solutions, okay. So I was very impressed by the way it was all managed, like so first thing is there should be interaction. A leader should be interactive. It's not like one-way communication. I will come and say this is what is going to be done, or I will dictate terms, okay. So a leader has to be a good listener, number one. Next, a leader should be a good decision maker, okay. He should be good at brainstorming, and he should be a good decision maker. He should take the best decisions irrespective of any compulsions, okay. So let us say farmers are coming up with a problem. Even if a corporate company, even if many MPs are supporting the corporate company, are coming and fighting for them, the person in power, what he or she should have done is listen to the farmers. The bill is for farmers, it's not for corporate companies, okay. So he or she should have listened and taken decision, good decision maker. So listening, good decision maker. Next, so a good organization is required to face elections. So a leader should have good organizational skills, okay, good organization skills. Third point. Fourth, communication skills. Let us say I have an idea, okay, I have an idea, I should be able to share it with all of you. எனக்கு ஒரு விஷயம் நல்லா தெரியுது, okay, just because I know something, and if I'm not sharing it with people, or I don't have the capacity to share it with other people, okay, what can I do? I have to have the communication skills. Okay, that's the first point. Next, teamwork. Okay, I let us say we are all coming together for administration or for decision making and all that. I might have personal difference of opinion with other people, but when it comes for the good of the people, I should keep that aside. I should keep that aside, and I should be able to work as a team. Okay. Next, leadership skills. Okay, who is a good leader? So let us say I'm running a small and medium scale enterprise. I have around 50 people who are working with me, and I'm into multiple businesses. I create leaders. I don't create employees. I create leaders. So a good politician, what he or she should do is create leaders. And when I think that I am not capable of leading, or I am not able to take the decision, I should identify the best leader, give them the opportunity to take the decision. That is what good leadership is all about. Okay. Next, honesty and work ethic. Okay. See, why am I joining politics? It's a big question which everybody should, if you're joining politics. Okay. If you're joining politics to make money, I think it's a wrong choice. So you should have good work ethic. You should have good work ethic. You should understand how the culture is, what people require. Honesty, okay, being honest, being straightforward. As we got a message like, see, the government was the previous party was saying like 15 lakhs we are going to give it into everybody's account. So these kind of things shouldn't come at all. Okay, these kind of things shouldn't come at all. Okay, so these kind of honesty, work ethic. So these are some of the 8 important characteristics which I think is very important for every leader. And I believe each one of you sitting here are leaders and are capable of doing it. So, how does the future role of political parties in TN look like? In TN, I was just see. It won't be nice if I'm giving if I'm giving or I'm favoring a particular party. But on a general note, so I was we have been doing a lot of psephology. We have been doing a lot of research, and even the sea water survey had come. So it shows that there is a landslide victory for the DMK and the Congress alliance, and the ruling party will be reduced to merely to a paltry 60 seats or something. This is what the survey says. And we were also doing a lot of psychology. We were also interacting with a lot of youngsters, and a lot of youngsters have been completely against the system of let it be social injustice, or let it be how administration is being done, the leadership capabilities of the current people in power. All this has been put into question. So I think based on these reports, this is how the future of parties in Tamil Nadu is going to be there after this elections. After this election, yeah. So yeah, we will conclude the session. So I would like to. So before I conclude, 1 minute. I think I'll have one last question alone. How can I identify associate with any political party in this complex situation wherein the parties have the agenda instead of people listening? So look at what is the closest party which you can associate with. Which party or which ideology which you think. So like if you take the national parties, BJP or RSS, they have an ideology. The Congress is a national party, they have their ideology. If you take Tamil Nadu, ADMK, DMK has an ideology. Okay. So look at the ideologies, number one. Number two, look at their founding leaders, what the founding leaders have told, vote for the RSS or the BJP and the Congress, or for the DMK or the ADMK. Okay. Next, what are the present leaders doing, or what are the present leaders, what are they standing for? Based on all this, identify which thing suits you, and you can associate yourself, you can become a member, and you can actively participate in that. Okay. So I think we can we have come to an end to the thing. We'll wind it up there. So I would like to first thank the management of WCC We are training partners. We conduct a lot of value-added courses and skills in WCC for the Department of Commerce. This is the first time I'm associated with the Department of Viscom. So I would like to thank the faculties, professors, and especially the students of Viscom department, and Harni in special. So Harni is the person who was coordinating with me, who was like regularly following up with me for the program. And I think Harni, you're already leader, and Amya, you have been comparing all the leaders here. Good to interact with the future leaders of our country. It was great to be a part of the session, and it was very interactive. I'm very happy to be. So I would like to thank you, the department, your college, your department, for this wonderful sessions. Have a great day ahead, and I hope it was useful to all of
Thank you so much for giving. Thank you so much for giving us such an informative session. I think I can speak on behalf of the entire, all of the participants in today's program, that you've really enlightened us on the voting process, the power of the election commission, and thank you for answering all the questions of the audience. Thank you so much, sir,